Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the third time I'm doing this video, and I decided to change my microphone because I'm recording, and then the thing, I think my son has been eating this microphone. It didn't have sound, so I'm back for the third time. And today I think, for me, I normally say nothing is a coincidence. It was meant to be. So I think that things I said in the previous videos I forgot to mention, or I shouldn't have said, and now I'm saying them now. So if this goes through, this is it. So guys, we're in the second episode of Self-Love Chronicles, and today it's about codependency and people-pleasing tendencies as part of lacking self-love. So guys, by the way, I think there's so much power in rehearsing the video. I feel like it's been rehearsing because I think I'm flowing better. But anyway, so you guys, this thing of codependency in relationships is not a joke. It is one severe lack of self-love. And most people really don't understand you're in that phase, or you're in that codependency phase, or rather, because you think it's love. See, we're in love. No, honey. You're literally depending on someone else's energy. And that relationship, a 99.99 chance that the one who's been depended on will look for a third party or a fourth to feel stable within themselves, because they're literally drained. And you're wondering, this guy, I've given him 100. No, you're not giving him 100. Yeah, literally you've given him 100 and you're at 0. All this attention, all this love, all this not true love. All this depending on him, wanting to please him in the name of you calling it love, or please her in the name you're calling it love. You're getting it all wrong. And nigga or the woman will keep running. Or you will never find that what you think, and you will end up depressed in anxiety levels you cannot explain, because you're literally worshipping a human being. Yeah, it's idolizing, by the way. Most of us think you're in love with someone, yet you're literally idolizing this person. And I think I really had one really good pastor once mentioned the power of being single, and why, if you embrace your singlehood into union with Christ, or some will call it with self, because the self part, I am. If you understand the power of I am, I'm speaking of the Christians, I am. If you understand the power of I am, you will learn to love yourself deeply and understand that God is really in you. Or rather, the universe is really in you. Or rather, the Creator is really in you. You will love yourself to a point. You'll never depend on anyone to bring you joy. You'll never depend on anyone to bring you happiness. You will never depend. In fact, if anything, you will be the one people are chasing to make you happy. They want to be part of you. They want to be people who will match up. Because some people, when you raise like that, chaff, some people will fall out. And that's why if you're truly, truly meant to be with someone, when you're in your worst and when you get to your best, if they level up to your best, some people think like in your best, if they level up in your best self, inward self, that relationship will be amazing. Because you will mirror them or they will mirror you. You get? So it's very important to avoid codependency tendencies. And these things don't just come out of nowhere. It's due to ignoring of self, ignoring the childhood you. The childhood you who went through trauma of not having emotional satisfaction. They were neglected emotionally, neglected as a child, not due only because at mistreating, not really. This child might have come into this family when the parents were busy. And most of these parents, the millennials, they were a different kind of upbringing set in their mind. It's respect your elders, it's why you're crying for that, you'll be whooped, you'll be, so you're not really allowed to even deal with your emotions when something has been denied to you or something is not okay with you. You're being programmed not to really grieve or mourn or feel a certain type of way. So you suck it up. And since you found this partner who now you feel like you've moved away from the home setting, now you're with someone who is now different and you believe this one will quench this thirst of mine of, as in self-validation. I can't do it for myself. This guy will validate me because we all know when you're in love with someone, you'll tell them all the sweet things. So you've been told all the sweet things and the childhood you is like, whoa. Okay. That got us off guard. And now, when a boundary is being crossed or when you're being stepped on, the baby you will be afraid to lose this connection. Because, hey, we've always been neglected back there. So, don't let this one go. Your higher self, the God in you, is trying to show you you're not happy. And now you end up being out of balance. You're not in alignment with your mind, body, spirit, and soul at that point. And that is why you find that when you keep ignoring this baby, they will want things that they're not supposed to want. Or they will want things, not necessarily because they're not supposed to want, but they'll show you they want this. And if you do not give them again, now that you're an adult, you do not give yourself, they'll expect to get it from somewhere else in this relationship. And that is why people end up stabbing each other or killing each other in a relationship or a marriage or whatever, and even the children, because it's now the child who's speaking. And I mentioned in the previous videos, this child can turn into a shadow side of you that if you do not sit down and embrace this baby, they will rebel and they will get out of hand. And what an adult will do, other adults will not be able to relate with how you just did. How did this person just do that? How does a grown-ass man take a knife and stab a woman because of a relationship? How does a grown-up woman take stab someone else on there? You do craziest things because at that point, the child in you is not understanding nothing for no one. So if you don't take control of yourself and love yourself, love this inner child. Remember, like I mentioned in the previous video, if you listen to them, they will really show you wisdom. They will show you places where there are loopholes, and you'll come to understand, why am I codependent on this guy? Why am I codependent on this woman? Why can't I self-validate myself? What went wrong? How did things come into play like this? Why am I not able to speak my truth? Why am I afraid of rejection? Yeah, it will come to a point all these things will come up. Sorry guys, I had to end that video and really see if it's recording the sound, and we're good. So yeah, you really come to get more guidance or insight on where your soul is really lacking or having gaps. Okay, so that is when now you're in a true relationship with yourself first. Then you can be able to love someone else. Then you can truly fall in love with someone and you have something to give. Because when you're empty, you can't share. And that's why it's a commandment. And again, I said it in the previous video and I'm saying it again. Love is the greatest commandment, and when you understand, love your neighbor as you love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't love your neighbor. If you don't love yourself, you will not know when to say no, when to say yes. You will not know which battles to fight and which battles to throw outside the window. You will not know when to set a boundary and when it has been crossed if you don't love yourself. Okay, because you're also helping this other person who you're in a relationship with to be a better person. Because they know, okay, since I really love this woman and there's this side of me that treats women like this, and since I really love her and it doesn't sit right with her, you'll try and change yourself on whatever it is you're doing. You'll go inside and think, okay, this is not just this woman. You get, it's been happening to the previous relationships I've been in. I think there's a problem. So I need to go inside and see where we gap at. You get, where are we missing something? And why are we in a certain type of way? Because I tell you, some characters we have are really false us because of a programming we had in childhood. Society played a role. Movies we watched played a role. For me, my part was deeply on Cinderella, Snow White. Those fairy tales, I used to love them so much. And I used to see myself as Cinderella. I used to see myself as that Snow White, waiting for the perfect guy. And every guy I got, I tried to look for that part in them and never really saw other sides of them. You see, you're busy, you're empty. You are looking for someone to fulfill you, and you're not seeing even the other parts of this guy's cup. You're looking for something that is supposed to be inside of you, looking for it in someone else. You will not find it. And you'll never be truly happy. Some have gotten away with them, they're in marriages, they're in relationships, but someone is really not happy. Genuinely. And you will not get that happiness in another relationship. So even if you're wise, don't leave that guy or don't leave that woman going to look for that. Start from healing yourself. If you're already in it, if you're already in that relationship, if you're almost there, if you're married, if you're whatever, and you feel like, start loving yourself. Start loving yourself truly and end the codependency that we've been programmed to think it's love, that you're loving someone. So where is he? He's not home. Come here, you keep on calling. Uko, where are you? I'm your wife. You're supposed to be home now. That's not love. We should do this and this and that. You're insisting and focusing on things that you guys should do together that probably don't please this other party, but you really want it for you, so that you can be happy. At times, try out this other person's fun time, or find a balance for the sake of, or find something else to do that both of you can agree on, as long as there's quality time spent together. Rather than pushing it so that you can come and post it on social media, people to see or people to know that you guys also did this. And immediately that man or that woman leaves that sweet function you guys had, they've run to the next party to be filled up because they're drained from spending the whole time with you, the whole day with you. So self-love is really key. When you're afraid to please, when you're afraid to confront people, and I think I've mentioned it again, and I'll just mention it again, this is trauma. And most of it comes from childhood. So learn to master that. Sit with yourself. Because you know what? It's like, your higher self always knows. The God in you God always knows. That's why everyone, even you right now, there's always a part of you. Hata kama you will ignore it, you know that there's always that one voice of reason that always told you don't do that, or that has always been telling you this is not a good choice, or that always been telling you you're not being true to yourself, but you keep on ignoring that voice. Okay, because it's normally a small voice from behind. It's normally not so loud. It's normally the smallest, by the way, that you can easily ignore. That's why the Bible says, my sheep know my voice. So when you master to your intuition, your instincts, that small voice, when you learn to listen to it, even when things in the outside do not make sense, go with that voice. You'll understand later. Okay? You'll understand later and you will thank it later. So, yeah. I think again in my awakening, there's this book I read. It was called The Wolf something. I'll purpose to put it at the end of this video. I don't know if I've mentioned it. This is the third time I'm recording this thing. I don't know if I've mentioned it, but if I didn't, I will purpose to put it at the end of the video so you can download the book. You can download the book for free. I got it for free online. But if you have my number, I can send it to you. So yeah, it's a really nice book and it really awakens women. There's a mosquito here. Yeah. So that's about it. Always remember one thing again, and why I'm doing this video now. If you didn't get me on the first episode, I'm purposing to do this self-love video right now because I'm trying to bring you to the light of what is really happening energetically during this last week of March into April, first week. A lot of energy shifts. And I keep on saying, and I will say it again, we're all energy. So if you don't believe in that, start believing now and protect your own energy. Because a lot of things are ending now and a lot of new beginnings are beginning. Either from the previous same cycle but a new chapter, or a totally different new beginning. So when this comes, it will not be a smooth ride, but you can choose to maneuver with the waves, or you can choose to resist, and then you will hang on to that ship that is sinking. But key is, don't be afraid. Anything that comes up, past emotions that you thought you're done with, past people who you thought you had shut out, coming back to your life to look for you, whatever. It's a trial, and if you choose to continue things the same way they used to be, you're in for a really bad awakening in April. So for now, change how you handle your current realities. Illusions will be swept away big time. So make sure you're true to yourself. You're not codependent on anyone. You're not people pleasing, because at this point you will not be able to hide the burnout you will be facing. You will react in a way you never expected or you never saw it coming. So be nice to yourself, be kind to yourself. Journal. I don't know if I've said this in this video, the previous two that I've deleted, but I never really used to understand journaling. I never used to understand how to journal. I used to think like journaling, what am I writing? But the moment I discovered, take that pen, take that paper, write anything, whatever comes. Don't start asking yourself, what am I writing? Whatever comes, write it. Because a child can really, if you have a child, you can get how when they learn to draw, when they start learning how to use pen and paper, they can really scribble anything. But they'll be scribbling their thoughts. So write it down and you will know what is truly hidden in your subconscious. You get, if you're really angry at someone, write it down. And you feel like it's an issue you can't address before you, write it down. Okay, actually there's something really juicy. I don't know if I said it on this video or the previous one. That's why I made a little bit videos. Anyway, I was talking about these two people. If I've repeated it, sorry. If I've not, good. There are these two people who are normally silent. Two people. The one who will be people pleasing, and the one who truly understands the power in their worth. Okay, so this one who will be people pleasing will be silent when mistreated or misunderstood or whatever, and keep themselves because they don't want you to leave. They're literally codependent on you. They'll suck up the anger and shut the baby up in them, who will one day explode. That's why some people, when they're dumped, they're bitter. That's why some people, when they leave someone, they leave with bitterness. Because they've been stomaching you for a while. I don't know, mosquitoes in a pneuma. So they've been stomaching you for a while. They will hold some hidden anger or bitterness inside. When they separate, they will badmouth this person. Badmouth. Because they were literally wekaing you, for lack of a sweeter Swahili word. Wamekuwa kuweka. They've really been, it's like really just keeping you somewhere. Like this one will deal with them another day. This one, not for today. This one, not for today. It gets to a point, everything just, it's like a rupture. Everything just blows up. So, another one will be silent, and this one will call themselves for meeting. Go inside, ask themselves, wonder why and at what point did you take their power that they are allowing you to trigger them? You get? Because I've said it in a previous video, when you get angry at someone or you get someone triggers your anger, it means at some point they took your power, or there's power struggle somewhere in there, because that's what puts people out of balance. And the moment you're out of balance, by the way, is when you're literally like in hell on earth, by the way, if I didn't mention. So strive to be in balance. Strive to love yourself. And self-love is key for that. Self-love, the inner kind of self-love, is key to that. Because you will understand when to fight, when to not. You will understand where to give your energy and where not to. Because the moment you're speaking to someone, you're giving your energy out. That's why some people really need to be careful who you're allowing to feed your ear gates, your eye gates, your mouth gates, your sexual organ gates, because that's how we feed the spirit. You might be seated where people are talking about some things that are really not at par with your energy, or something that's not godly. At some point it will enter into your mind. You may not think about it immediately, but you'll come and think about it later, like, could there be some truth in what Nani said? And then a coincidence just happens that something relates to something that was said in the conversation you guys had, and you will automatically link it to that. Now you've plugged your energy into that low vibration thing I was telling you about. So that's why it's very important to watch who you're hanging out with and who you're listening to and who you're watching, and who you're even allowing yourself to be intimate with sexually. That's how we transmit things that are not only but not spiritual, because you're literally feeding on this person's energy, and what they carry they input in you. Our sexual fluids are our DNAs. So you're literally allowing that person's part to be in you. So who are you sleeping with? Okay. Boundaries, self-love, It's crazy. And some people, I don't know if I mentioned on this video, but I'll just mention it again just in case. I came to understand at one point. I used to ask myself, how is it that my friends who I now understand it was lack of attachment, lack of codependency, lack of pleasing people kind of energy, who used to be really promiscuous. Why do men or women fall in love so much with those guys, as in they just keep on wanting them? And then I came to understand it's because of that small part of they're not codependent. They're not depending on this person, and they're not single attached. One person will chase, one person will run. Okay? So that's what makes the difference between these other people now, the I don't want to call them hoes, but the people who are really just having sex for fun with different people, and this one person who is interested in one person and wants to stand in her true power. Okay? Or his true power. Which can be also amazing when everyone is in their power and you're together. Oh my God, that is one kind of relationship to die for. Everyone is growing, respecting their path, and still honoring the union between the two of them. Now that is bliss. That is bliss. So love yourself. And if you're not in a relationship, take this opportunity to be that magnet of love by loving yourself first and loving yourself internally, kwanza. Because when you take yourself out for the movie, when you take out, you'll not really attract. The magnet is within. So love yourself within first. And you will shift timelines in amazing ways by working on yourself, understanding yourself, with love, compassion, kindness, clarity, peace, whatever, all these amazing fruits of the Holy Spirit. Tick one by one, write them down, tick one by one, how you're implementing it in yourself, where you feel like, be easy on yourself. If you fail today, if you trip tomorrow, you'd be like you're trying to master this, and then this guy comes, you find yourself there. Be kind to yourself. Repeat that. You find yourself, at times you may think you're being too harsh on yourself, and yet you're in the right path. So just be sweet and gentle to yourself. How you would be sweet and gentle to that guy you're codependent on. Be sweet and sweet to yourself. Be sweet and kind to yourself like that. The way you are, akifanya makosa, you're very quick to forgive yourself like that. And that's when you'll come to understand why we say the mercy of the Lord is renewed every morning. You can renew it every second. Imagine this is you with a key. So remember, great is he who is in you than he who is in the world. Self. I am who I am. Self. He who began the great works in me will surely finish it. In me. Self. Which other self? There are quite a number in the Bible. I'm just trying to figure it out which one. Oh my God, there are a lot. But I feel like I'm running out of time because of the minutes. But self is key. If you do not love yourself, you do not love God. And remember, there's a scripture that says, God is love. If you do not have love, you do not have God. Love yourself. You will be able to love that partner. You cannot give when you're empty. Always remember that. Because if you enter into a relationship and you're empty, you guys will never know peace. You guys will never know joy. You guys will never have understandings on each other. You guys will always be on an emotional roller coaster. Because none of you truly loves themselves. And what you're looking for, you'll only find within you. Okay? So be kind to you. When you're kind to you, you'll be able to understand your relationship. And when you guys are all at that level, you'll be able to know, because there are good days and the bad days. Babies, let me tell you, the cycle never ends. That is why you learn every day. But the journey starts with a step. The childhood you will always surprise you with things you never imagined. So every day it's a healing process. When you think you're done healing, another thing comes up. When you think you're done healing, another trauma comes up. And you go as you heal. And you go as you heal. That's why now when you're in union, when it's a rainy day for you and a sunny day on his side, you guys can find the balance, because now you'll be able to love yourself, then love your partner, and understand that your partner is going through something. It's not me. He's not doing this to me. I'm not the one with the problem. He has something he's going through. When he comes out of it, so you'll stop victimizing and stop, because some of us really worsen situations when we start fights, because the codependent you or the inner you is believing that this guy is doing this to you. You're not doing it to me, y'all. You're not doing this to me. This guy is going through something. This girl is going through something. Let her process that phase. And then when you worsen it and you come and try to fix things with you as a victim mentality, why are you doing this to me? You guys won't elewana. You guys will cross because now they even start seeing you as an enemy. So it's important when you love yourself, you'll understand everyone needs boundaries. Your partner too. You're going through something, when you're ready to talk, you let me know. Okay? But in the back of my mind, I'm going with, however you're acting, whatever you're doing, I'm not the problem. Fix yourself. When I'm going through something, I will not pinpoint you the problem. I will fix myself. That is self-love. Guys, thanks for today. If you're going through any cycle related to what I'm saying, don't hesitate to comment, share, let me know what you think. Are you going through the same thing? And during this cycle, how is it taking you? By the way, how has March been? Because it has shaken relationships, it has shaken a lot of things, and things will fall out, things will fall into place. So where are you? What are you going through? And yeah, let's know in the comment section. I love you. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to comment, and most important, to subscribe. I love you guys. Thank you. And I'm sure this one is clear and it's probably the last one I'm doing. Thank you guys. Have a good night.